You know what's funny? Long-term investing and long-term relationships have way more in common than you'd think. And here's the kicker, it's not the people who know all the fancy techniques who win in the end. It's the ones who can keep their emotions in check. Think about it. You've seen this happen, right? Someone checks their portfolio during a market dip and immediately panic sells everything. Or maybe you've watched a couple have one heated argument and suddenly they're questioning their entire relationship. Same pattern, different context. Both are letting short-term emotions sabotage long-term potential. So let's talk about what really matters in both investing and love, and spoiler alerts. It's not what most people focus on. When it comes to investing, sure, technical analysis matters. Knowing how to read charts, understanding market trends, researching companies, all useful stuff. But here's what the data actually shows. Most investors don't fail because they lack knowledge. They fail because they can't control their fear and greed. They buy high when everyone's euphoric and sell low when everyone's panicking. Classic emotional trading. And it destroys returns every single time. Now flip to relationships. Dating advice is everywhere, right? How to text, where to go on dates, what to say, and yeah, some of that helps. But the couples who actually make it long term, they're not the ones with the best pickup lines. They are the ones who can manage their emotions during conflicts. They don't let one bad day turn into a relationship-ending blow-up. They understand the difference between a temporary rough patch and a fundamental problem. Here's the psychology behind this. In investing, we have these powerful emotional triggers: FOMO when stocks are soaring, pure terror when markets crash. Behavioral finance research shows these emotions consistently override logical thinking. You might know rationally that you should stick to your strategy, but when your portfolio drops 20% in a week, suddenly that rational voice gets pretty quiet. The same thing happens in relationships. When emotions run high during an argument, your brain literally shifts into fight or flight mode. The part of your brain responsible for rational thinking takes a back seat. That's why people say things they don't mean or make impulsive decisions they later regret. It's not that they lack relationship skills, it's that their emotional brain has temporarily hijacked the controls. So what do successful long-term investors do differently? They create systems that override their emotions. They set clear rules before they're in the heat of the moment. Maybe it's automatic investing every month regardless of market conditions, or having predetermined stop-loss levels they stick to no matter what. They remove emotions from the equation by making decisions when they're calm, not when they're freaking out. The same principle works in relationships. Couples who last have strategies for handling conflict. Maybe it's agreeing to take a 20-minute break when arguments get too heated. Maybe it's having regular check-ins about the relationship when things are good. So they're not only talking seriously when something's wrong, they focus on the long-term vision of building trust, understanding each other deeply instead of winning every small battle. Here's the thing that ties it all together. In both cases, you're trading short-term emotional satisfaction for long-term value. Selling during a panic might feel like you're doing something and protecting yourself, but it often locks in losses. Similarly, saying exactly what you're thinking during a heated argument might feel satisfying in the moment, but it can damage trust that takes months to rebuild. The real skill, whether you're investing or in a relationship, is recognizing when your emotions are driving the bus. It's that moment of self-awareness where you catch yourself about to make a reactive decision and you pause. You ask yourself, is this my emotion talking? Or is this actually aligned with my long-term goals? Because here's the uncomfortable truth: your emotions are optimized for immediate survival, not long-term success. They want quick resolutions, immediate safety, instant gratification. But both wealth building and relationship building happen slowly, through consistent, sometimes boring, emotionally regulated behavior over time. Think about the most successful investors you know, or the couples with the strongest relationships. They are probably not the flashiest or the most dramatic. They are the steady ones, the ones who don't make impulsive moves, the ones who can ride out the ups and downs because they're focused on where they'll be in 5 or 10 years, not where they are today. So if you are trying to improve your investing or your relationships, or both, start with emotional awareness. Before you make any major moves, check in with yourself. Am I reacting to a temporary emotion? Or is this a thoughtful decision aligned with my long-term vision? That simple pause, that moment of self-reflection, is worth more than 1,000 technical strategies. The market will always have ups and downs. Relationships will always have rough patches. The question isn't whether you'll face volatility, you definitely will. The question is whether you'll let that volatility dictate your decisions, or whether you'll stay grounded in what you're actually building for the long term. Alright, I want to hear from you. Have you ever made an impulsive decision in investing or relationships that you later regretted? What happened, and what did you learn from it? Drop a comment and let's figure out the psychology behind it together. Because understanding these patterns in ourselves, that's how we actually get better at both loving and investing for the long haul.